I'm on the ball. Oh, Gary. It's crazy how, like, she was stuck somewhere, and when I got in here, there's no communication at all, but it's like they sense there's a human being around, and she's like, error, Gary is stuck, get him help. So, but it's weird, like, I'm sure it's not doing that all day, is it? It feels like humans or something, like, help me, Gary needs help. Okay, I know I'm being ridiculous. Okay, so I'm helping Gary put him back on his recharge, but look at all that lint that it's picking up and dirt. I love this thing, Gary. I love you. Hey, this is Luna, and I wanted to do a video for you on how to have the best success on getting your antique quilts quilted. Yeah, I'm gonna share what I learned in doing so many beautiful antique quilts. All right, let's do this. Antique quilt recovery. Antique quilt recovery. Okay, let me just be serious sorry. I had a friend of mine who was given a whole bunch of antique quilts, and they're beautiful, and she said that they had a less and less nasty smell on them. Antique quilts usually are stored for years in closets, and you know that weird closet smell when it's nice and stuffy, and in drawers, and they're just stored for a long time. So she asked my counsel, and I shared my counsel, what I've learned, because I tend to buy a whole bunch of antique quilts, and I love kind of like you know, quilting them, and then I give them away to random strangers, and they become a useful quilt again, which was initially the intention of the maker, right? But they may have died or gotten sick, and the children don't value the quilt itself. So one of the things I recommend is you can wash them. If they're really, the fabric is kind of thicker, it's a healthy fabric. What I've noticed is antique quilts, the fabric dries out. I don't know if there's such a thing as fabric dry rot, but the fabric kind of dries a bit. You can put it in the washer. I use 2 Tide Pods for 1 quilt, and I also recommend that you fill up that reservoir of Downy. Downy softens the fabric, and it kind of goes into the fibers, and it almost moisturizes them. So quilts have been sitting for a long time. This really is helpful. I recommend you wash it by itself, nothing else in the washer, on a gentle cycle. You're not guaranteed that the quilt may survive this, but if the quilt can survive this, you have a great quilt. And when someone starts using the quilt, it's gonna last them a long time. And if you're gonna have this quilted, you need to know if it can be washed. So wash your antique quilt, because you don't want your long armor to get that smelly quilt on her machine, and then she's judging you. You know, we're not judgy people. We don't judge our clients. We don't. After you have it in the washer, you're gonna go ahead and check the quilt. Sometimes you'll have some seam open, sometimes you'll see maybe some tears. Either at this time, you could put it in the dryer if you don't see anything wrong with it, and do it on a gentle cycle all by itself too, and let the dryer go through there. I do recommend that you put those dryer sheets. Dryer sheets also moisturize that fabric again, and that's if you see no problems. If you do see problems, what you do is take it out of the washer, let it air dry, and then get any seams that are open or, you know, opened up, or fabric that's messed up. You can now, when it's air dried, go ahead and re-sew it together, and then you can go ahead and starch it and iron it. If you want your long arm quilter to do a great job with this quilt, ironing the quilt beautifully was really a thing you should do. And how beautiful. I'm working on this beautiful antique quilt. She's so pretty. One of the great things about this antique quilt, the friend who's having me quilt this, she washed it, she ironed it, and pressed it as flat and beautiful as she could be. Not all long armors are like me. I've seen some long armors that will quilt your quilt when it has puddling in the block, when the borders are a mess. They will not take time to iron and steam things down. They don't feel like it's worth it, and they feel like you don't care when you send a quilt that way. Now, I'm different. I will, if I see something that I can fix by steaming, starching, and steaming it, I'm willing to take that time. But let me just say this, that takes a lot of time. And some long armors, I don't know what's wrong with them. They don't care. Isn't she beautiful? And she's hand embroidered. It's hand embroidered, and she's beautiful. And the client just wants a regular panto to go through the quilt. And you can see that the long arm can go through all this beautiful hand embroidery. This fabric is antique. I don't know what date she is, but she is antique, and the back fabric came with the quilt. I think my friend got this from a friend, and this was the mothers of her husbands, and they've been in drawers for years, and so it's his great-great-grandmother maybe, I'm not sure. So these are quite a bit older, and I mean, whoever stored them well, where you can see it's just beautiful. But look at this, a hummingbird, cardinal, a blue jay. She's just beautiful. It's a beautiful filigree pattern. She's pretty, right? There's a bird, there's a bird, there's a bird. I literally went to a quilt store. I won't say the name. And the long armor, the quilt in the center blocks were puddling. And I asked the long armor, hey, are you gonna steam and starch it so that puddling lays nice and flat? She goes, no, I don't have time for that. I don't care. Well, what happens is when they're quilting it for you, you're gonna have these weird ripples and pleats, and this is not, the flatter your quilt is, the better the long armor can quilt it. And now I can move you. I just came back from lunch. I had a great salad. So we are on row 3, I believe. Sometimes when I go out to eat and stuff, it's really hard to come back and start working. But the good thing is, it's I have a client dropping off another quilt. So it makes me come back up here and work. And then once you know that you've washed it and put it in the dryer, and after it's quilted, that quilt will last for years, and you can continue to wash it and dry it. Now it has the stability of the batting, and it has the stability of the back fabric, and the quilting stabilizes that antique quilt. And I've given several antique quilts that I found to my daughters, and they wash them on a regular basis because they're used in their homes. So I'm just letting you know that once you know you can wash it, you know that the quilt is nice and firm and able to survive anything. If it can survive the first wash, it could survive all the rest, okay? So I really do appreciate you, and I love you in the Lord, and I'll see you on the next one. It's freezing downstairs. It's like 31 degrees out here, and I have to go downstairs. It's raining too, so there's ice on the floor, If you don't see this video, it means I probably fell down and broke my back. If you do, I was okay. I didn't fall. Alright, have a wonderful day. Oh, gosh. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna chance my life. I chanced my life to come up here and film for you, and I'm chancing my life to go downstairs so I could edit. But I better go down before it really freezes, and wish me well, okay? Maybe I should take pictures. No, I'm not gonna let you be involved in my frozen floor. Should I? Should I? Yeah, I should let you see it. Okay, hold on. Do you see that it's freezing? Maybe I'll go on my butt. I'll take some batting. It is freezing out here. But do you see the ice right there? Like over there? Right there. I better get down. Okay, if I survive.